taught there for 2 years. I don't want to say what years it was, but it was quite a bit of time.
Flag on the play.
Carencro looks like they were going to try an onside kick, but we had a flag thrown before we could get started. We'll wait to see what the actual play is. It will be a false start, illegal formation on Carencro. So they'll back it up 5 yards. So instead of kicking from their own 40, they'll kick from their own 35.
Yeah, and I'm not sure if I'm Zachary that I wouldn't decline that and take the ball from where it is, because I promise you this won't be another onside look right there. And again, as we mentioned before, we believe that this is Holden Link, the 10th grade kicker, just like Matthew Latham, another 10th grade kicker.
He has a little bit more size to him.
Yeah, we weren't aware of any difference between the kicking game tonight, but Link kicking it off.
This time Link's going to put a little more of a charge into it. It'll be fielded at the 16. It's going to be quickly brought towards the far sideline before it's dropped down at the 34-yard line of Carencro. I believe that's where they'll start their first drive. Coach, in their first drive for the Broncos, they moved fast. We saw a lot of different formations, but ultimately Carencro was able to put them in a couple uncomfortable positions before they turned the football over.
Yeah, you know, so much in football at every single level, we hear the bend but don't break mentality, right? You know, if you can go down, have a team drive the length of the field and kick a field goal, that's essentially a win. Well, Carencro did a step better, and he forced the turnover, essentially.
This time they're going to hand the football off. It's going to be a zone look right in between the tackles. He'll surge the pile between the two tackles and split it to get 8 yards and bring up 2nd and 2 for the Broncos.
One of the scary things as the clock is at 7:35 and ticking is the amount of yardage that the Zachary offense gets per play for the most part. You know, they really kind of they're gashing at 8 yards a pop for the most part. You know, we don't have our guy Joel Hilburn here, and I ain't that great in math, but
here come the Broncos. It's an inside tunnel screen. Carencro initially did a good job staying at home, but they're able to break a couple tackles and get across the 45 and pick up first down yardage down to the Broncos' 48-yard line.
Yeah, this is a strong, physical Zachary team that's really well coached. After this play, I'm going to try to give our listeners a chance to understand the differences between a independent school district that has a unbelievable tradition in the last decade and your average high school when it comes to coaching.
Kirby back in the backfield, gets a quick snap. He's going to pitch it off to his running back. He's going to try to bring it back across the formation. He'll get into Carencro formation before he's tackled at the 45-yard line of the Bears.
Okay, so the head coach for Zachary, as we mentioned, is David Brewerton, but assistants Kendall Beckwith, Charlie Brooks, Kendall Cleveland, Hunter Crowder, Jason Davis, Joey Frito, Gary Gardiel, Ken Helton, Alan Hemel, Kenny Langlois, Kirsten McNamara, Scott Nielsen, Drew Nettles, Antonio O'Neill, Dalton Pearson, Scott Pellegrin, Charles Thomas, Stephen Thomas, Quindron Turner, Chandlin Whitfield, Matthew Zito. And wait, I didn't even get to the strength and conditioning yet, guys.
Kirby back in the shotgun. What's crazy is 4 of those guys play football at LSU, too.
Yeah, there's a couple of names in there. You ever heard of Drew Nettles? Yeah, he's pretty good. He's a
Kirby,
pretty good athlete.
Back in the shotgun. He's getting the football straight up the gut this time. He's going to push the pile, though, and get just the yard to gain that he needs. It'll be a first down at the Carencro 42.
Yeah, just absolutely insane what Zachary has been able to do as we reach the 6-minute mark. It's 5:56 left to go in the first quarter, but I believe that means a little something for us, partner, huh?
Yes, sir. That'll be our first hydration time out of the night. We'll take ourselves a Tire Boss timeout. When we come back, it'll still be 6 minutes to go in the Chief Anderson first quarter right here for your home of Carencro High football, Mustang 107.1. Opportunity on your home for Carencro High football, Mustang 107.1. The open-air Crow Dome, your Golden Bears now trail the Zachary Broncos 7-6 with 3:41 left to play in the Chief Anderson first quarter. Carencro set to take this kickoff from the Broncos, and they're going to put it in the air. It's going to be fielded down in the corner. No, it's going to go out of bounds. So Carencro have good starting field position down at the 35. Coach, the most exciting thing on that play was I saw a familiar face down in that corner, number 2. Yeah. Brandon Duffy back in the ballgame.
Absolutely. You know, what a difference the young man might have made last week. But nonetheless, he wasn't there last week, but he's here this week. So, I mean, I just hope from our perspective that we can call his name several times tonight and he can do something electric. You know, it was pretty apparent with that kick right there that they don't want him to do anything electric, as that was definitely a ball kick to the sideline for Zachary.
1st and 10 for the Golden Bears from their own 35-yard line. Guernsey's going to go under center. Has 2 backs behind him and 2 receivers to the far side. Guernsey's going to set the line of scrimmage. Gets the handoff, and he's going to give it straight up the gut. Not much running room on the play. I believe that was Bayham who got the carry. Maybe brings it across the 35 to the 36 to bring up 3rd and 9. There was a flag that came up late, and it will be a personal foul penalty against the Broncos. So those free yards will give the Carencro Golden Bears a Papa Bear first down.
Yeah, Carencro will take it any way that it comes right there. And then the surprise for Zachary is that's Dylan Shelmier, the 6'1", 210-pound, 3-year starter and veteran leader of that defense. So
not only that, though, Coach, it gives them the football already in the Broncos territory at the 49 of Zachary.
Take it how it comes, huh?
Hey, Papa Bear first downs will never dispute those. Under center goes Guernsey. Everybody in tight with 2 backs behind him. The ball's going to fall to the turf on the snap. Guernsey's trying to get it after the ball squirted loose. We're waiting for the call. I believe he was able to hop back on the football. I don't think he ever fully got control of the rock.
No, I don't know if he pulled out a little early or what the case may be. If the snap never necessarily got there, but it's not the way. You know, you've got 1st and 10, you've got 2nd and long essentially most times. Those are free downs. That's your opportunity to roll the dice a little bit. Take a chance.
Now back at the 49, it'll be 2nd and 11 for the Bears. Guernsey back in the shotgun. Going to get the snap and hand the football off straight up the middle. A little bit of running room, but quickly closes up. He'll be tackled down at the Zachary 47. I believe that was Bayham on the carry. It'll bring up 3rd and 7 for Carencro. Make that a 3rd and a long 8. Not much running room for the Bears.
You took the words out of my mouth. I was just about to say the same thing, that there's not a lot of running room. I mean, that is a big Zachary defensive line. I mean, they are very large. It's a 3-3 stack look from Zachary, and they are plugging holes up there up front.
Quickly going no backs in the backfield as Guernsey tries to find his receiver on a go route. That was Brandon Duffy, who the ball falls just out of his reach across the goal line as Carencro went just wide open right there. Pass will fall incomplete and bring up 4th and 7 from the Broncos 47.
Yeah, and you can see Duffy's frustration right there as he'll come off the field, and
I don't like the
Eric
frustration.
Tolliver will kind of grab him by the shirt a little bit and kind of have a little talk with him and say, I mean, you're not going to get every pass on the money.
It wasn't a bad ball.
Nah, not a bad ball. And Duffy was undoubtedly open on it, and Gursey just unable to do it under a little bit of duress. Just a byproduct of good football against good football teams. You can't complete every single pass and make it happen every single time.
4th and 7 from the Broncos 47. 1:58 left to play in the Chief Anderson first quarter. Back in the shotgun is going to be Gursey. He's going to be a punter this time, and that punt's going to bounce into the end zone and give the Broncos possession of the football at their own 20. We're going to step aside. When we come back, it'll be the defense's time to set into gear to stop the Broncos right here on your home for Carencro High football, Mustang 107.1. Quickly back into action of the open-air Crow Dome, and it's a pitch to the left. A lot of running room for the Broncos. He's going to break a tackle at the Bears 30, and then he'll outrun all the Golden Bears into the end zone. That's a touchdown for the Broncos. That is number 27, Patton, who went into the end zone for an 80-yard score. Quick possession, quick 6 for the Broncos. They're able to extend the lead. It's now 13-6 with 1:36 left to play in the first quarter.
And Patton, a guy who we mentioned, is not the most physically and intimidating, but I tell you what, right there, he looked like a man possessed, breaking through multiple tackles and then pulling away with speed. And I watched a couple of the Carencro practices during the week, and they worked on, guess what? Tackling
to completion,
tackling.
Coach. That's one thing that he talk about. Not only tackling to completion. Make sure you get to the ground. Carencro's going to get another flag on themselves. It'll be half the distance to the end zone as it's encroachment. So the PAT, they'll try it again. Look, that was a physical run. They had an opportunity to tackle him about 4 yards past the line of scrimmage, broke those tackles, and then after that, he outraced everybody, Coach. Yeah. We talked about how he didn't have the pop, but boy, did he have a lot of speed to get into the end zone.
Absolutely. He was 100% moving as he got there.
And it's good.
The kick is up and it's good. The Broncos extend the lead. It's now 14-6 with 1:36 left to play in the first quarter. We'll stick right here, Coach, especially after a quick possession like that.
That one was a quick one.
Look, your defense has been a little bit of a mixed bag so far tonight. The opening possession, you kind of extended them a little bit. You were able to, force the turnover after, I'm sure for the Broncos, an unfortunate situation. After that, though, the Broncos seem to have your number a little bit. What do you do if you're Coach Pettis and company coming back to the sideline to change things up?
Yeah, I think the number one thing is you've got to go back to the basic fundamentals of everything, and you've got to talk about tackling. If tackles are made from first series to what we just witnessed, you might not have the total outcome that we see in front of us. But, you've got to – you got to know that these guys are prepared. They're put in the right spots. They've got to make the plays, and it could come down similar to last week. Who has the ball last and who can capitalize the most on offense?
Quick score from across the way. Acadiana leads STM 7-0 with 7 minutes left to play in the second quarter. Brandon Duffy's going to receive the kick just across the 15. He's going to bring it back, and before he's tackled at the 13 of Carencro, trying to make too much happen there, he'll have to start the drive now back deep into the Bears territory.
Yeah, the gamble that we talked about against St. Thomas More with a guy like Brandon Duffy, you got to roll the dice a little bit, because we might see something like he did against St. Thomas More where he makes 5 guys miss that had him dead to rights. And then there are sometimes you might just wish he'd bring it upfield and take the 2 yards, 3 yards that he maybe could get. That time he lost about 8 yards on the play. Puts the Bears 1st and 10 from the 13, 1:28 left to go in the first quarter.
Gursey back in the gun by himself. 4 receivers now to the far side of the field. He's going to fake the handoff and be met by immediate pressure, trying to bring the football back towards the middle of the field, and he'll be tackled in the backfield for a loss of 2. It'll bring up 2nd and 12 for the Golden Bears from their own 12-yard line.
Yeah, it had a little bit of a inside trap scheme up front with the offensive line, but the early pressure got to Guernsey early, able to break the first one, but then just not enough guys holding on to blocks, and that big physical defensive line of Zachary, too much pressure for Guernsey to handle.
Under a minute to play in the Chief Anderson first quarter. Guernsey by himself in the backfield. Looking to throw the football down the field, he'll let it fly. It's going to be caught in the flats. Makes one man miss. He'll bring it across the 15. I believe that was Duffy that was tackled at the 16-yard line. It'll be a gain of 5 on the play and bring up 3rd and 7.
Yeah, I mean, Carencro is doing good things right here, things that they've done and been successful with in the last 2 weeks. But I'm going to go ahead and tell you, this is a really good Zachary team.
They're athletic, Coach. All 3 levels. They run so well, so fluid. 15 seconds left to play in the Chief Anderson first quarter. Duffy's going to reset the back to his left. Now looking to throw the football. He's going to climb the pocket. He's going to throw the football to this near sideline. Trying to find Duffy. Was covered like a blanket, and it's going to fall incomplete. It'll be 4th and 7 for the Bears. 4 seconds left to play in the Chief Anderson first quarter. Coach, I almost wish they would have just let the clock die down and let Carencro play that 3rd down play with, into the second quarter.
Yeah, a tough situation, from a coaching standpoint. You want to believe in your guys. You want to say, let's get out of this. Let's keep jamming. Then let's bring that into the second quarter. One-on-one coverage on the outside. Babineau was in a one-on-one matchup right there. The ball was just a little bit high. Really good coverage.
There's going to be a flag on the play. They were in the punt formation with Guernsey that time. And it's going to be false start. I believe it's going to be more of an illegal formation, Coach. They're going to replay the down. Either way, it'll be 4th and 13 now for the Carencro Bears. 2 seconds left to play in the quarter.
I mean, in terms of a penalty and what you're punished with, it doesn't hurt. There's no difference. But, again, it comes back to what we talked about against St. Thomas More. It's too many penalties, especially too many penalties early on against a team like this.
Guernsey now back in the punt formation. Gets the snap. He's going to punt it. It's not going to be a good one. Wobbly one off his foot. It's going to be not a bad result for Carencro. It's going to bounce across the 40 down to the 41-yard line of the Broncos, and that's where it's going to lie after we played a quarter. After 1 quarter in the open-air Crow Dome, the Broncos of Zachary lead the Carencro Golden Bears 14-6. When we come back, it'll be 1st and 10 Broncos from the Carencro 41 right here on your home for Carencro High Football, Mustang 107.1. And we're right back at it at back Byru's Field, live from the Open Air Crow Dome. Your Golden Bears trail the Zachary Broncos 14-6. Broncos have the football 1st and 10 from the Carencro 41-yard line after the Golden Bears just punted the football to the Broncos.
This Zachary team, I mean, their success has been well chronicled over the years. And if you're Carencro, if you fail to convert, it makes it really, really tough, especially with all the stuff that Zachary is going to throw at you. Zachary takes the field to start the second quarter. shows some stuff that we don't know if Carencro was not ready for, but if I had to guess, judging by the body language of the Carencro defensive coaches, we had an alignment problem right there.
I don't even know they had enough guys on the field right there, Coach. Coming out of the quarter, you never want to see that. I'll give you a quick score update from just across the way. STM just scored a touchdown. It's now 7-7 with 8 minutes left to play in the second quarter. The Cougars versus the Rams of Acadiana. Look, this has been a game that Carencro scored quick, right, when they got the football after the turnover to take an early 6-0 lead. Since then, though, the Broncos have had their way with the Golden Bears. It's their turn, though, to try to change the tide. First and goal, Broncos from the Bears, 41.
You know, we've seen shaky starts from the Carencro defense as, you know, their opponents have come out, given them a different look, thrown some different things they hadn't seen on film before, but they always manage to settle back, and if there's time to settle back, it's right about now.
Back in the shotgun is going to be Kirby, running back to his right. Now he's going to look back at the sideline at Coach Brewerton and company. Has a bunch of big signs over there, tells him what to do. Now it's going to be a low snap. He's going to go down and get it. It's going to be a quick pass, though, to his receiver along the far sideline. It's going to be caught by Kimmy, and it's going to be enough for a first. Now they're going to say he gains 9 on the play. That'll bring up 2nd and 1.
Yeah, and you see the defensive backs playing off a little bit of the Zachary wide receivers. And, you know, you almost have to pick your poison when you physically have what Carencro has. If you press too much, you risk the chance of one of those 6'4" receivers getting the slight edge out there on a go route or on a post or on a corner and just completing the ball over your head. You almost kind of have to be okay with letting them catch a 7-8 yard pass.
Kirby's going to hand the football off right off the right tackle. It's going to be a punishing run across the 20 down to the 19-yard line of the Golden Bears. This running back runs behind his pads real well. He's physical, Coach, and he's pretty violent in the run game.
Yeah, he did not start the game the way that he is currently running the ball right now, but right now it is absolutely scary.
Tyleek Lewis.
Yeah, and that's what's scary. They're going back and forth between Jeremy Patton, the junior, and Tyleek Lewis, the junior, and each of those guys, I mean, it's a balance of power and speed.
Back in the gun. They're going to hand it off to Lewis again. Lewis is going to spin off a tackle at the 12 and get to the Carencro 10. And it's going to bring up 2nd and 9 on the play for the Broncos.
I mean, if you're Zachary at this point, why do anything else but run the ball exactly the way that you've been doing? Get in the gun, open things up, spread guys out, and just keep jamming it down Carencro's throat. And then every now and then, though, you know what you're going to see. You're going to see the quick pop. They're going to hit the outside just to keep you honest. And, I mean, it's just hard to defend. I mean,
they're so big up front, too,
They're
Coach.
so big up front. They're so big on the perimeter. They're so fast, so talented.
2nd and 1 from the 11. Hand the football off to Lewis. Carencro, though, there. Johnny on the spot. They try the right-hand side that time. A couple Golden Bears get there quickly and drop them. It would be 3rd and 2 on the play. There was a flag that came out after the fact.
Hey, you were throwing some local scores of interest. How about this one? Second quarter, Notre Dame 14, Turlings 0. How about that one?
Mikey Corville's run started out pretty good for the Rebels. That penalty is going to go against the Broncos, 15 yards after the fact, too. So to bring up 3rd and long for the Broncos, make that a 3rd and 17 now, as they'll have to snap this football from the 26-yard line of the Carencro Golden Bears.
Yeah, big one right here for both squads. And, I mean, there's, you know, like a lot of times you have a feeling of what you want to stop. But with this offense, goodness.
They're going to fake the handoff and they're going to throw it underneath. What a play that time. Looked like that was Rontrell Woods who undercut the route, was able to bat the ball down so to be passing complete and bring up 4th and long.
Yeah, one would have to believe that's a film read right there. Rontrell Woods looked like he knew what was coming the entire time. Great break on the ball. And I tell you what, about a 4-inch difference right there. He comes up with that ball, and there was nobody between him and the end zone right there. That could have been a big conversion.
It's going to be a 43-yard field goal opportunity for the Broncos. So far tonight, the kicker has plenty of leg in everything he's done. I believe this time it's going to be wide left, no good. So the Carencro defense will come out unscathed. It's now 14-6 with 9:38 left to play in the Pats Printing second quarter. When we come back, let's see if the offense can get back on track right here on your home for Carencro High Football, Mustang 107.1. Gursey back under center. Two backs behind him, a receiver to each side. He's going to fake the handoff. No, he's going to pitch it back. Now it's going to be handed off to Duffy. Duffy's trying to find running room along the inside of the line of scrimmage. Gets back to the 20. Not much more he could find as Carencro tried to razzle-dazzle to start the drive.
Yeah, it might be an interesting look. Might keep the defense at bay a little bit right there, but at the end of the day, is a gain of 0, unfortunately. Just really, again, just you're going to have to be crisp, you're going to have to be clean, and you're going to have to be darn near perfect for this Carencro offense against this talented Zachary defense.
Gursey back in the shotgun by himself. 3 receivers to the far side, 1 receiver in near tight. Gursey looks to the sideline. Now he's going to become a runner. Has a little bit of running room. Now he's going to bring it across the 25 down to the 26. Gains 6 yards on the play. It's going to set up a third and much more manageable as it'll be 3rd and 4.
Yeah, early predictions, if you look at everything right now, you would say the running game is stagnant at this point. The passing game, it's okay. It's not the worst. There have been some successes. There have been a couple times where Carencro receivers have been a little bit locked up, but overall, not bad. That brings up 3rd and 3 for the Carencro offense. Gursey is going to find his place in the shotgun. Bayham to the right of him. It'll be a keep with Gursey. He'll probably get back to the original line of scrimmage, maybe lose a yard right there. That's going to bring up 4th and a long 4 for the Carencro offense, and the punting team will come back out on the field.
Carencro just couldn't get anything going right there, as it'll be 4th down and 4 for the Bears as Gursey comes in the punt.
Broncos set to receive the punt from the Bears.
It is some very soothing music at this point. Gursey will get off a much better punt than the first time. Bring up a fair catch for Zachary. Be at the, look like the receiver caught it at the 44-yard line, but be marked at the 45-yard line.
.45-yard line for the Broncos to start the drive. Offense is coming back out on the field for the Broncos. Kirby leads the way. Trip receivers to the far side as he's going to look back towards the line of scrimmage. Kirby now moves the running back over to his right. Kirby now gets the snap, looking to throw the football out into the flats. It's going to be caught. He's going to slip a tackle. Now he's going to bring it into Carencro territory. Tackled at the 48, but there is a tackle back down to the 47.
Yeah, these receivers on the outside for Zachary have done a really good job in the screen game and the quick looks, the tunnel. I thought it might have been a holding, in fact, by one of those receivers on that quick screen look, but the White Hat's going to come out and say that was inadvertent. No flag at all right there.
It seems like an odd call on that play, right?
You know, they've seen such success throwing the quick routes to the outside, nothing to it, just the quick game. Reminds me of Troy Edwards in Louisiana Tech a number of years ago.
Second and 4 now for the Broncos from the Carencro 48. Back in the shotgun's going to hand the football off straight up the middle, but Carencro does a good job that time. Limits the game to just 2 to bring up third and it'll be 3rd and 1 now. They'll call that gain down to the 46-yard line.
And you know, once again, we're in one of those crucial junctures where if Zachary runs the ball, and Carencro has proven 2 out of 3 times to be stout up front and limit this Zachary offense, man, it can change the whole complexion of the game, as we're still at an early point with 6:25 and running in the second quarter.
Looking to run the football, though. Carencro's up for the task. They'll drop him in the backfield. That's going to be a loss of 1 on the play and bring up 4th and 2. Carencro forces a decision right now for the Broncos.
And it looks like the punt team will be coming out for Zachary. Everything that you could hope for if you're Carencro, and you know, and the mixed emotions come back right now. This is the ideal situation for Carencro, where if you can get a punt back to you, control the last 6 minutes of the clock, but it's 6 minutes for hydration, butter.
It's time for a Tire Boss timeout as we'll take this break. It's Zachary 14, Carencro 6 with 5:57 left to go in the second quarter. Right back at you on the Carencro Golden Bears Network. Come back. We're right back in it. It's 4th and 2 now for the Broncos. 6 minutes left to play in the Pats printing second quarter. Broncos have it 4th and 2 from the Carencro 46-yard line. They're going to fake the punt. They're going to run it now across the right side of the line of scrimmage. I don't think he got there. He needed to get across the 45, and he got just shy of that. We're waiting for the official call.
Oh, God.
Oh, man.
Oh,
the near sideline.
There are 2 different spots on the field.
We're waiting for the official call. This near sideline, it looked like he was going to be at least a yard short. He had to get that football all the way across the 45, and it was just shy from our vantage point.
There were 2 different spots on the field. The guy who was immediately 3 yards away from the ball was at one spot well before the 45-yard line. The official who was on the hash mark was on the flip side of the 45-yard line, and where he spotted that ball at the hash is entirely different from where the original spot was.
The football had to get across the 45 for the first. It looked like it was going to be about a half a yard shy where he was tackled. We're waiting on the official call. Coach Gavin Peters does not like it. He's talking to the white hat out towards the numbers. They're going to give the Broncos a first down. Right at the 45-yard line of Carencro, Broncos has the first down. It'll be 1st and 10, Zachary. 5:47 left to play in the Pats sprinting second quarter.
If the original spot remains, it's close. It's measurable.
But he would look like to be at least 2 feet short of that, Coach.
Wow.
Zachary will get the benefit of the doubt. It'll be 1st and 10 Broncos out of the shotgun. They're going to run the football across the middle of the field. Carencro had an opportunity to tackle him in the backfield. He'll spin out of that tackle and push it across the 40 and finally be tackled at the 36-yard line of the Bears.
Once again, that's the big running back right there. That's number 28, Tyleek Lewis. He looks to be, we don't have a size on him, but he's standing up right next to the quarterback, Michael Kirby. Kirby is 6'2", 210, and I got to tell you, they're at least the same size.
2nd and 1. They're going to hand the football straight up the gut along the right side, and he's going to push across the 35 to the 34. That'll be a first down for the Broncos as we go into 5 minutes in the Pats sprinting second quarter.
I mean, that's just a heartbreaker if you're Carencro. You really did what you needed to do, and you were stout on the fake punt. And I mean, we can sit here all day and blame officiating. I mean, we saw last week where there was a missed call by the guys out there working so hard in the black and white stripes. And did it change the game? Maybe. We don't know. What would have happened? We don't know. With that fake punt, we don't know. But golly, it's hard when you're a 16-year-old kid.
1st and 10 from the Carencro 34. Looking to throw the football down the field. Now he's going to step up in the pocket where he's going to be dropped. I don't know if he got quite back to the line of scrimmage, but there is a flag on the play on the far side. Waiting to see what the call was. Looked like Carencro had him down in the backfield for a 1-yard loss, but we'll wait and see what the official call is. It'll be holding against Zachary right at the line of scrimmage, so instead of 1st and 10, it'll be 2nd and 20. Carencro had sacked him, though, Coach. That would have been a 2-yard loss. Either way, though, they'll bring this football back towards middle of the field, see where they finally spot it. I believe it'll be at the 48-yard line of Carencro.
Puts the ball in a much more manageable position for
How's
Carencro.
that football only at the 40? In a 10-yard penalty now? It's down now at the 44-yard line.
I suppose, and I guess we missed that after that last fake punt. I'm not really 100% sure what's what, but here's where you really have to be wary if you're Carencro. You got trips receivers down to the bottom, and there are big bodies at all of those 4 spots.
Looking to throw the football. They're going to whip it out into the flats. He's going to try to bounce it out to this near sideline. He'll bring it across the 40 and be tackled at the 37 of Carencro. That was number 6, Kylan Jones. Coach, they got a bunch of guys. As soon as they touch the football, you kind of hold your breath.
Yeah,
I mean, go.
We talked about the amount of coaches that this Zachary team has. That doesn't include the strength and conditioning coaches. Who does strength and conditioning for Lafayette Parish Schools? The very coaches that coach the sport. A school like Zachary, they have guys designated that work with these guys all year long on this.
Pitch it out to the far right side, and now it's going to be a lot of running room. He's going to get across the 20, across the 15 and the 10. It'll be a Zachary touchdown as he'll go into the end zone on the 38-yard score, and Zachary's going to extend the lead. It's now 20-6 with 3:51 left to play in the Pats Printing second quarter.
And, I mean, that was as impressive as a run as I think we've seen tonight. And I'm sure some of our older listeners and watchers can kind of understand where I'm coming from right here, but that was a Roger Craig-esque run. If you go back and watch the replay of that and you watch number 28, Tyleek Lewis, the big junior run, mentioned he's about 6'2". I mean, he was high knees and full speed into the end zone.
The kick is up, and it is good. Zachary's going to extend that lead. It's now 21-6 with 3:51 left to play in the Pats Printing second quarter. We're going to step aside. When we come back, we'll see if the Carencro Golden Bears can answer right here on your home for Carencro High football. Mustang 107.1. The Open Air Crow Dome, your Golden Bears trail Zachary 21-6 with 3:51 left to play in the Pats Printing second quarter. Coach, Zachary can strike quick. They can strike fast. They can strike with thunder, too. They're not afraid to run the football. They kind of get it done in a variety of ways.
Yeah, the last couple of years we haven't said Zachary's name as much when we've talked about the upper elite of 5A, even though their track record, certainly warrants them being in that conversation. But, a team that was 7-4 last year, the second round loss, still a very good team. 2023, they were 12-2. They were the state runner-up. And I guess it just seems people get spoiled
You're right.
with success. And so last year they were not as good as they were in the past. And this year, at this point, it could very well be a return to dominance.
Guernsey back under center. Two backs behind him and a receiver to each side. He's going to fake the handoff and look to throw the football. He'll step up in the pocket. He'll let it fly deep. He has a man. It'll be Duffy who catches across midfield. Duffy's going to run across the tackle and finally be dropped down across the 35-yard line of Zachary. That's a big Papa Bear first down pitch and catch for the Golden Bears. Sophomore to sophomore, Gursey to Duffy.
That's one of the craziest things too with this team. We call Chance Babineau, we call Kendrick Bernard, but the amount of sophomores on this team that are just so immensely talented, from the skill guys to the big guys like Mr. Finney down there at the right side of the offensive line. This is a group that is still not anywhere near their absolute best.
Gursey back in the gun. Two receivers to his near side. He's looking towards the middle of the field now. He'll turn into a runner. Plenty of time to throw it. He'll let it slide. He's trying to find his tight end, the big fella. He was trying to find number 84. That's the fleet-footed Jalen Roberts, who couldn't come up with the catch.
Yeah, good pass right there by Gursey. Hit him in the hands and just unable to bring it in, and would have been a sure score right there.
The galloping tight end just couldn't come up with the grab as it hit him right in the hands. Spot you don't want to miss it.
Now, definite touchdown right there had he brought it down. Instead, it'll bring up 2nd and 10 with 3:08 on the clock in our first half.
Gursey back in the gun. Two receivers to this near side. He's looking this way. He's going to let it fly. Babb's going to have his first catch of the night. He's going to catch it across the 30 to the 27. It'll bring up 3rd and 4 for the Bears. Say he was tackled at the 28.
Yeah, quick, safe play right there. Babineau brings it down, gets it into a manageable spot right there with a 3rd and 4. But got to convert right here because you're definitely in no man's land in terms of punting or kicking.
You do get the football, though, to start the second half. It'd be a big opportunity to play make it, take it from a basketball perspective. Coach, you got to know about that, right? Make it, take it.
Absolutely, got to play a little game and make them take them right there. That would definitely give the Bears the opportunity to turn the tide and maybe even it all up.
Carencro's going to call a timeout. We're going to stick right here. It's going to be 3rd and 4 for Carencro, and so far tonight they had limited opportunities to touch the football. When they have been able to make a little bit of hay, it's been through the air, throwing the football, even in plays that didn't come to fruition, like when they had the tight end wide open and couldn't come up with the grab. It seems like through the air is their best friend so far tonight, Coach. On 3rd and 4, where we're at in this point of the field, do you think it's more two-down territory?
Boy, I tell you what, you almost have to think. You don't want to panic, right? You don't want to get to that spot where you panic and you do something you wouldn't do in the first, or I'd say normally second quarter. But this is a big point, as you mentioned. If you can play a game of make them, take them. But, I mean, this defensive line, this defensive front, the linebackers, I mean, this group is so stout. I mean, you got to find success in the air.
3rd and 4 from the Broncos 28. Gursey back in the gun. Kylan Taylor's draped to his left. Twin receivers to the far side. One receiver in near tight. Gursey's looking to throw the football. Now he's looking to turn to a runner. A lot of running room as he's going to pick up the first down. Thundering run across the 20 down to the 19. That's a Papa Bear first down carry. What a gutsy play by the sophomore signal caller.
I tell you what, I know Gavin Peters kind of winced a little bit right there as Gursey took off, and maybe he had the opportunity to slide or go one way or the other. But that's not Carson Gursey. Carson Gursey is going to take you on, and he likes it. He likes it a lot.
Loves the contact. 1st and 10 from the 19 of the Broncos. Gursey's going to stay in the shotgun. Sets the line of scrimmage. Now he's going to hand the football off. It's going to be Bayham. Across the left side, he's going to slip a tackle. Brings it back across the middle of the field. He'll finally be tackled down towards the 13-yard line. It'll be a gain of 6 on the play and bring up 2nd and 4. He might have lost the football a little.
Oh, yeah, he definitely lost it right there and was able to come back up with it. Good call right there. You saw the pressure package that Zachary was bringing and how Gursey was able to get through it. So you call it up again and just a different look. Give it to Bayham right there up the middle. And good run, good job by him, good reads. Just got to hold on to that ball.
Gursey back in the gun, looking to throw the football deep. Looking back across the formation, he'll let it ride. It's going to be caught by Duffy. Duffy brings it back across to the 10. Duffy's going to go into the end zone. Cue the horn. That's a big boy fencing touchdown. As Carencro strikes closer, it's now 12-21 with 1:13 left to play in the Pats Printing second quarter.
Yeah, and just a great job, a great pass scheme right there, and even a little mix-up with the back coming out right there. Not sure if that was Batiste right there, who that was, but almost had a little mix-up. But Guernsey just sorting through it all. Like like a mom with 8 kids trying to figure out which kid has a runny nose, just having a knack to find that one kid through the midst of everything and just comes up with the play, and then essentially Brandon Duffy being Brandon Duffy. I mean, just
electric.
Probably
coach.
should have been down, and then
it might have been a loss
to get
almost
in.
the way he brought it back. But
yeah,
they're gonna bring
the
it.
Gambles that you take with the Brandon Duffy.
We're gonna get the snap down, and the kick is up. And the Melançon's Funeral Home PAT is good. It'll be Carencro 13, Zachary 21 with 1:13 left to play in the second quarter. When we come back, it'll be Coach Pettis' defense's turn to see if they can hold them before halftime right here on your home for Carencro High football, Mustang 107.1. The open air Crow Dome where your Golden Bears just struck back. It's now 21-13 Broncos with 1:13 left to play in the Pats Printing second quarter. How about the drive? Carencro needed it most, and they got it. Cool, calm quarterback play led to the touchdown. Look, there's a big pass to Duffy to set up the possession, and Duffy ultimately ended up capping it off. But, Coach, it was really Carson Guernsey, though. The calmness, the coolness in the pocket, like you mentioned, kind of directed traffic, picked up a first down on his feet, and then found Duffy across the middle to go into the end zone. That was all we needed for the Golden Bears to get closer.
And with the third down conversion. I mean, that was huge.
Third down.
And then, hey, let's not leave out our guy Holden Link, who's about to kick off right now.
We'll see what the call is. Link was trying to kick it off.
Flag on the play.
Flag's going to come from the far sideline. Got to know what that means.
And really not sure hearing delay of game, but I'm looking at one play clock, and it was at 21. So I'm not 100% sure what's going on. But nonetheless, get back to our guy Link right there. Holden Link has obviously taken off all kicking responsibilities for the Golden Bears tonight. We haven't seen Matthew Latham tonight. Not sure what's going on. We saw him limp a little bit off last week, but Link has come in and really done an outstanding job. Another young sophomore for this Carencro team.
Link is going to point to each side. He's going to lead up to this football, and he's going to kick it towards this near sideline. It's going to bounce just inside the 30-yard line, and I don't believe the Zachary Broncon was going to even come anywhere near him. Make that number 43, Donovan Bethany. He was able to fall on it. It'll be finally downed at the 32. But, Coach, that was playing with fire for the Broncos.
Yeah, kind of delayed reaction right there. And you could hear, for us up here in the press box, you could hear the Carencro coaching staff going, go get it, go get it, go get it, go get it. Because that was a live ball once it crossed 10 yards. The Bears victimized by that very evil against St. Thomas More, and then the opportunity to maybe get one back right there. But Bethany, quick to get back on the ball, gives the ball back to the Broncos at the 32-yard line, 1:12 left to go, second quarter.
Back in the shotgun, looking to throw the football. The Broncos, he's going to let it fall towards this near sideline. Undercutting the route was Brandon Duffy. He read it like a book. They were trying to find Christian Brooks across the 40-yard line, but Duffy just knew where the football was going, almost had himself an interception.
And that name right there, brother, Christian Brooks, I got to tell you a little something about him. Brooks is a 6'4", 180-pound senior in the state of Louisiana. So when he is out there lined up Right now, it's got he and Brandon Duffy one-on-one coverage with Rontrell Woods bracketed over the top. That's a man out there.
They were trying to pick on Duffy. He wanted nothing to do with it. It's going to be a counter look this time as they're going to hand the football off back across the formation. Carencro did a good job, though, staying home and making the tackle across the 35. He'll be tackled at the 37, and it'll bring up 3rd and 6 for the Broncos. Really credit Carencro for just reading that play, though, Coach. I really credit for them staying home.
Yeah,
it was a great play by the Bears.
Defensive line did a great job of staying at home. Will Laverne kind of forced that edge on the outside, and I love the battle that's heating up right now. After those last couple of plays, Duffy and our guy Christian Brooks, we were just talking about, had a couple encouraging words for each other.
We'll call them encouraging.
That's two guys that can flat out go at it.
That's usually how you talk to me when you want another beer.
Absolutely.
Duffy's going to back off into coverage and look back towards the sideline. So it'll be a timeout for Zachary. We'll stick right here, 17 seconds left to play in this Pats Printing second quarter. Coach, you mentioned that's good on good, right? When you have a talent like that, that's not afraid to go at him. Duffy, though, doesn't back down. I mean, the kid is
he knows one speed. You know, he knows how to do things one way, essentially, and you know, it can be one of his greatest strengths, or it might have times where it might nip him in the bud a little bit, but that's one of the greatest things about him is he knows no back down.
Look, flip, right? The way he was able to flip his hips and get downhill on that play and almost intercept it. I mean, that's college level stuff that you saw from the sophomore cornerback.
Yeah, and Christian Brooks he's an all-state basketball player. He's an all-state receiver. I mean, this is a special kid. He's all of 6'4", and I promise you that Duffy is not 6'4", but that is an even matchup all day long. And with 3rd and long with 17 seconds in the half. Interesting call from the Broncos.
We'll call it 3rd and 5. 17 seconds left to play. They're going to keep it between the tackles. He's going to find some running room, though, between the tackles and bring it into Carencro territory across the 35 of the Bears before he's tackled down at the 32. They're going to gain big yardage on that first down carry into the Bears territory. 8 seconds left to play in the half. Man, Carencro could not have that happen. The kicker's got a big leg. They're not going to be afraid to give him an opportunity to kick this from pretty close to there.
They'll go back to him before. Yeah. Last one was from 43. You know, this one will be definitely a little bit longer than that. But, I mean, you know, it's a classic situation. You're 3rd and long, 17 seconds.
You going to run another play?
After this right here, I mean, you with 8 seconds left to go in the half,
you've got
one opportunity to throw an out route, most likely here.
I keep the ball on the ground. If I trust my kicker, I'm keeping the ball on the ground.
With the success that they had on the last run, I mean, you might be crazy not to, right?
Yeah, I personally, I keep the ball on the ground, try to run that between the tackles and give my kicker an opportunity. Look, you might take the chance to get 6 through the air. Carencro's been pretty good covering those defenders, especially along the boundary. What they haven't been good doing is defending in between the tackles.
So the big question, if you are Pettis Romero-Seabold, do you call up a special package right here? Do you stay home? We're only going to see 3 down linemen.
It looks like they're playing for the pass, Coach.
It looks like they're gonna kind of play it safe and try to take away the end zone.
Kirby's going to look towards the sideline. Now he's going to reset the back towards his right. Kirby's going to bring the H-back across the formation and await the snap. Looking to throw the football out towards his left. He's going to let it fly, and it's going to be caught just across the 25-yard line down to the 24. Right in front of Duffy was the big receiver Coach Kovac just mentioned, Brooks. 4 seconds left to play in the half, and they'll give the kicker another opportunity. So, hey, you were right. I was wrong. Who would have thought that?
Yeah, you know. Every now and then I know a thing or two. I'm not as stupid as some people listening to us might think I am, but
you're definitely not fleet of foot. I promise you that.
I get a couple things right now and then.
The Broncos are going to attempt this field goal. It'll be a 41-yard attempt. The snap's down, the kick is up, and it is good. The Broncos will take a 24-13 score into the half. When we come back, we'll have to get to the halftime show. Make that the Nolan's Lawnmower halftime show right here on your home for Carencro High Football. Mustang 107.1.
It's that time of year. Spice up your Saturday Bear style. Join us for the 4th annual Bear Takedown Club Jambalaya Cook-Off. On Saturday, October 11th, from 8 a.m. to 2 p.m., the flavor explodes at Pokey's Poorhouse on 115 Derrick Plaza Drive in Carencro, Louisiana. Unlimited tastings for just a $10 donation. That's right, all the jambalaya you can eat for only $10. Think you got the winning recipe? Grab your crew of 4 for only $100 and cook your way to bragging rights. Judging kicks off at 12. But that's not all. We've got a 50-50 raffle, a live and silent auction, and a rowdy cornhole tournament to keep the good times rolling. Mark your calendar, October 11th, 8 to 2. Bring your appetite, bring your friends, and bring your Cajun spirit. For more information, scan the QR code on the screen, and we hope to see you there. Let's go, Bears! Are you ready to launch your future? Welcome to the Academy of Information Technology at Carencro High School, the premier magnet academy for cutting-edge education in computer science, information technology, and media arts. Dive into a world where your interests come alive. In AOIT, you'll explore technology like never before, mastering essential skills in HTML and Python while gaining hands-on experience in daily TV production and innovative media projects. Our partnership with LSU and affiliation with the National Academy Foundation means you'll receive top-tier computer science education. Imagine leaving the academy with industry-standard credentials from Microsoft, Adobe, and CompTIA, plus a stunning portfolio that showcases your skills. Don't just dream about the future, create it. Follow your passion in tech and join AOIT today. Apply now at LafayettChoice.com/apply. Your future starts here.
Different to kind of offset what we saw from the offense of the Broncos.
You know, we've seen.
Are you ready to launch your future? Welcome to the Academy of Information
over the years, right? And we're going to go all the way back, and we're going to call them Gavin Peters teams, but we're going to go back to when Tony Corville was the head coach and Gavin Peters was running the offense, because we'll kind of focus on that end. You know, we'll talk about teams that were able to come out and just dominate the line of scrimmage, right? You know, a pretty big offensive line, sometimes a really big offensive line. You know, we go back 2020, that's a big offensive line.
I mean, look, you had guys on that line that just, like, dominated, man. I mean,
yeah, you had Ty Mayfield. You had
exactly.
Greg, I mean, there's shaky. Like we had some dudes.
You could line up and
front.
Push guys.
Yeah.
Reset the line of scrimmage
right.
Time and time again.
So you fast forward to now, you know, you got a guy or two that can give you a real push. And then from there, you really have to do a lot of scheming from a coaching standpoint. Because when you know, and there are going to be teams, don't get me wrong, and this is not a knock against any player or you know, anybody's kid or anything out there, but it's just not the same Jimmys and Joes. And we're going to get into district, and we're going to have some guys that we're going to play in this offensive line. They'll be able to have their way and push them around.
These are different guys.
But this is a different team. And that's not what everybody doesn't realize that every high school team is not built the same. This is Zachary from the Zachary Independent School District. This is Zachary that's won umpteen state championships over the last few years. This is a Zachary team. Like, let's talk about it. The defense returns one of the best secondaries in the state. You got Jeremiah Smith, 6 foot 175, 3-year starter. Safety, outside linebacker Isaiah Stokes, 6'3", 210, 2nd-year starter. Galen Conrad, 6'1", 195. That's the defensive backs. The Carencro defensive backs are all under 6 feet tall.
They're about our size, coach.
Yeah.
Maybe
not who
not
you
as
want.
wide, but
we're
I'm talking about as tall.
We're looking eye to eye with those guys, right?
You know, and what makes the difference too is how they're able to move the football on offense, and they're able to dominate the line of scrimmage. They're able to get push up front, and look, they spread you out too. So you have to respect boundary to boundary. You talked about throwing the football to the big wide receiver, the big basketball guy Christian Brooks on the outside. You have to respect that. You have to put your best defender on him and respect that. So you know what this is going to do? It's going to soften him up in the middle. And what they're able to do is just capitalize on that by pounding the football in between the tackles.
And then you're not just respecting Brooks. On the flip side of the field, or if they're in trips or how they line them up, is Asher Carter, who's 6'3", 190 pounds. I mean, it just doesn't end.
They
The
have
threats
dudes.
are everywhere, and so if you are Carencro, this is where coaching comes in. Let's go back to last week to LCA. LCA is a 1A, 2A high school in terms of enrollment, and they have a 5A football team. They have
guys that are able. I mean, look, the quarterback, what was it, Walker?
Yeah.
If Walker's on the field tonight, he's still the best player.
Yeah.
You know, he's that good.
You know, when you look at them from top to bottom, I mean, they have more guys on the sideline than this Carencro team, and they are better when you go 33 positions on the field between special teams and offense, defense. They are overall, they've got the better group right there. I mean, we're talking about a team that, like, these kids at Carencro High School are coming from, 6, 7, 8 miles apart from one another. This is a neighborhood school with neighborhood kids. And you know, you got a team like LCA, they got kids from everywhere. And it's not a knock against them. They're doing exactly what they need to do. Those kids have decided to go there, and the coaches do a great job with them. And then you've got a team like Zachary. I mean, they are pulling from a great big area in an independent school district. You know, we mentioned it before. I mentioned the names, but 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21. No, I'm sorry, 22, including the head coach. Football
And
coaches
22
minus
of those,
strength and conditioning.
You name like 4 or 5 kids that played football at LSU or in the SEC.
Yeah. You know, it's not a whine, it's not a complaint. It's just comparing apples and oranges. You know, it's oranges on one side, it's apples on the other. And the whole point of the long story being is that if you're Carencro, you can compete. You prove that you can compete. You prove that when you played St. Thomas More. You prove that when you play LCA. But the last play of the game against LCA and a play here, play there, a non-wrap-up also proves the fact that you got to be pretty close to perfect to beat teams who might be a little bit physically better than you.
You're going to get the football back to start that second half. If Carencro's going to have a chance to win this game, look, they're only 8 points down. They're going to compete. They're going to have a chance. But what's really going to excel their opportunities to win this football game tonight in the open-air Kerr Dome is they're going to have to establish some run. They're going to have to be able to run the football. If they're not able to run the football, I don't know if they're going to be able to get the job done against this team, because you have to limit the opportunities of an offense like Zachary and keep them off the field. So for my money's worth, I'm taking my chances with slowing the game way down. That's what they wanted to do against LCA, and they managed that. They had 6 drives over 6 minutes.
But can they do it against the defensive line and linebacking staff?
You have to try.
But they've tried.
You know, you have to get back to running the football a little bit more with a little bit more diligence. The passing game has been there. They've thrown the football down the field a little bit. I just don't think we can get in a shootout with these guys. We don't want that. They have too many weapons.
But what if so devil's advocate, what if that's what it comes down to? What if the run game never gets established? And, I mean, kudos to Zachary for it. It ain't because this Carencro team can't run the ball. We've seen them run the ball against 2 of the best teams in the state already. But what if it gets in a shootout? You know, where does that put us if we put the game on Carson Gursey's arm and the hands of Kendrick Bernard?
When I look at that, when I say that my opinion about running the football, it's not about what the offense can't do. Because I have a lot of trust in Carson Gursey, and I think they've shown tonight. I mean, both touchdowns came on the arm of Carson and throwing the football. But for me, the defense, you got to limit their opportunities. You got to keep them off the field. They're undersized. I'm not trying to knock these kids. Got a bunch of good kids on that side of football, but it's different guys.
Yeah. So I guess we can essentially say the basics of high school football, right? Maybe football at any level, right? If Carencro can control the offensive side of the ball, if they can control the line of scrimmage, if they can establish a run game, and then do the flip side, can they get that many stops? They've got a couple stops on defense.
They got the big turnover.
Can they get a couple more?
You know, the turnover was huge to start the game. Just got to get a little more of that. We're going to step aside when we come back in the Nolan's Lawnmower halftime show. We're going to talk about scores from around the area, maybe give you a couple stats from this game, and see what the Carencro Bears have to do to overcome the Broncos in the second half. Stick right here on your home for Carencro High football, the Carencro Bears Network, and Mustang 107.1. Of course, this is the Nolan's Lawnmower Carencro halftime show. Coach, I'm not trying to tell you I'm right and you're wrong, but I'll constantly try to remind you of that. I want to give you a couple stats right now. Thanks to the eye in the sky, Coach Joel Hilbin, who's back at home after double knee replacement, still giving us the spots and still giving us the stats and being Johnny on the spot. The Carencro, 126 yards passing, 22 yards rushing. Further goes to say they're not able to establish and sustain drives. On the flip side of that, Zachary just 79 yards passing despite all the playmakers and difference makers they have on the outside. But the crucial point, 248 yards rushing for the Broncos, 14 first downs for Zachary, and Carencro only 5. So Carencro's 2 touchdowns came on a bunch of splash plays. Of course, the first touchdown on the big play, one play drive. And then the second touchdown came on about a 5-play drive, right? You had the first down. You had the big catch by Brandon Duffy, third down run, of course, by Carson Gursey before Brandon Duffy was able to catch the ball across the middle and break a couple tackles. Let's take a look real quick across the scoreline around the area.
So just down the road, you've got Notre Dame 14, Turlings 3 at halftime. A big one up in North Louisiana, up in Shreveport. The recent LSU commit under center for Evangel Christian. It's Evangel 29, Bird 14. And then moving it over, trying to get a little bit around the state. Big game with statewide implications. Alexandria, who has been littering scoreboards with points, 7. Destrehan, 7. That's a heavyweight banger right there.
Big on big, Coach. Hat on hat.
That's a big one. Big one in Baton Rouge. Catholic 14, U-High 0. That game has come down to a last-second play for the last 2 years. In New Orleans, a former Carencro opponent, the Shaw Eagles, down 19-0 against
I got a
the
score
Rommel
for you.
Raiders.
A couple Owen teams playing just across the way. Acadiana 14, STM 10.
That may be the most interesting one of the night.
Big on big playing over there across the way, both 0-2 teams. We're going to take our last break of the Nolan's Lawnmower Carencro halftime show. When we come back, it'll be time for second half action live from the open air Crow Dome right here on your home for Carencro football, the Carencro Bears Network, and Mustang 107.1. Dome at Mac Barus Field, where your Golden Bears trail Zachary 14-13 at the break. Coach, it's been a game that's had a little bit of seesaw, a little bit of this, a little bit of that. Ultimately, though, the story of the game is the way Zachary has been able to control the line of scrimmage and rush the football for over 200 yards.
Absolutely. I mean, there's no question to it. I mean, the talk in the press box at halftime was just the sheer size of this Zachary team. I mean, they're so physical, they're so fast. I mean, it's one of many a good game that's going on tonight. I want to take a chance and tell our audience about a couple other big games that are going on right now too. There's a big District 3-5A game going on right now. Como and New Iberia, no offense, but they're essentially the two cellar dwellers of District 3-5A, and you've got a 21-21 tie. Como coming off their first win in, 5 years the other night. Kudos to them, and just in an absolute battle right now with those guys. You got a neighborhood battle in Senla, Tioga 28, Pineville 14. The Battle of the Bayou, Central Lafourche 28, South Lafourche 28. I played at both them places, and I got to tell you, they're both intimidating.
The kickoff right now, Carencro's going to take it. Duffy gets the the opening kick of the second half. He's trying to make a little bit of dancing to do it. He's going to get the football across the 20 and finally be drugged down at the 25-yard line as we begin the third quarter, presented to you by Sheriff Mark Garber. Coach, it's an opportunity now, though the offense gets the football first. They kind of get to make their chance to control the narrative of the second half.
Yeah, and so, what will we see? Is the big question. I think everybody who knows a little bit about football knows that you do, as you said, you want to come out and establish the running game. But at the end of the day, the pass has been what has been working for this Carencro offense. So they'll come out, trips receivers.
Empty backfield, Coach. All by his lonesome will be Gursey. He'll bring a man in the backfield with him. Now he'll fake the handoff. Now he's going to chunk it. He's going to be met in the backfield with some pressure, and he's going to fumble the football, and it'll be Broncos football. Start the second half. The Broncos brought the pressure. They got home to Gursey. He'll fumble the ball. It'll be Broncos ball deep in the Carencro's territory.
Yeah, not an ideal start right there. The play took too long. Brendan Cormier came in motion, set on the right side of Gursey. Gursey gave a play-action look to Cormier right there, but Cormier looked like he had nothing to do with the actual play action right there, and there was pressure coming off of the right edge immediately. Everything crumbled. Gursey loses the ball. Is not the start that Carencro, not that they wanted, they can't afford to give up.
Well, they're going to give the football back deep into their own real estate. Looking to throw the football, Zachary. They're going to take a shot deep into the end zone on their first play, and it's going to be broken up, though. Great play. Duffy was able to jar the ball loose deep into the end zone. Initially looked beat. I thought it was sure 6 for the Broncos, but Duffy able to get his paw in there and bat the ball away.
Yeah, it looked very, very similar to one of the first scores that we saw from Zachary. I mean, at the end of the day, when you had 6'3", 6'4" guys on the edge, I mean, you're going to take some shots right there, and you're going to throw it up and say, my guy's taller than you. And, yeah, like I said, it's 1st and 10. We talked about 1st and 10 and 2nd and long essentially as free downs, and Zachary took full advantage right there.
Zachary's going to run the football now on 2nd down and 10 and maybe get a yard or two. They're going to get it all the way down to maybe the 20. It'll bring up 3rd and 8 for the Broncos. This is if I'm them, though, I'm treating this as a free possession. I'm taking a shot into the end zone and trying to kick the field goal because you didn't think you'd have the ball deep into their territory with only 11 minutes and 10 seconds left to play in the Mark Garber third quarter.
Yeah, you really have nothing to lose right there. And credit right there on that play, the sophomore number 11, Hayden Monroe, really came down the line, did a good job. Kind of looked a little bit like our guy Jacalen Roy we saw doing that for the last couple years. Monroe did a good job on that one.
They're going to run the football in between the tackles, though, but Carencro stays home. Kind of surprised they were that conservative. Good job by the Bears to stay home on that. They get it across the 20 down to the 18. It'll bring up 4th and a long 5, maybe 6 yards on the play.
And some post-play drama going on in the quarter of the end zone. Number 4, Christian Brooks, and number 2, Brandon Duffy got tangled up in the end zone.
Against Carencro and dead ball and sportsmanlike conduct against Zachary. Those penalties will offset.
So both of those calls just came back. It would be offsetting personal fouls against each player. And obviously, I mean, it was a physical play, but apparently just what was going on verbally was a little too much that the Stripes wanted to hear right there.
I got nervous when they called it out on Carencro first.
Oh, yeah. I initially, honestly, I thought that was going against Zachary originally, but it ended up being a call on both players, both sides. So it evens out, and that's going to bring up the Zachary kicking game again.
It'll be a 35-yard field goal right now for Zachary. The kick is up, and it is true. It's now 27-13 with 10:35 left to play in the Mark Garber third quarter. When we come back, Carencro have a time at redemption right here on your home for Carencro High football, Mustang 107.1. to the third quarter. Carencro was able to hold their water and limit the damage to a field goal as Zachary takes a 27-13 lead with 10:35 left to play in the Mark Garber third quarter. Zachary kicking the football back to the Golden Bears. This one's going to be way deep and back through the end zone. No opportunity at a return.
Zachary's special teams really good. They're bringing back their kicker. The guy's been pretty good tonight. He missed one early. That's 6'2" Boston Bentley. He's a 2-year starter. Normally handles the punting duties as well. But, I mean, he's got quite a boot. He was just a little to the side on the first one of the night, but he has been solid in all aspects of the kicking game throughout tonight. So that's going to give Carencro the ball back at the 20-yard line. 10:35 to go in the game. I'm sorry, in the third quarter.
Guernsey's going to go into center this time with two backs behind him. He has a receiver to each side. It's going to be Duffy and Babineau. Guernsey's going to set the line of scrimmage. This time he's going to hand the football off straight in between the tackles, but there's nothing doing, just no push. Great job by the Broncos just to reset that line of scrimmage. They're going to see maybe gain a yard and bring up 2nd and 9.
So one big wonder is, that you see Carencro come out 1st and 10. They get in the split back look, receiver to each side, and just straight away plow, typical split back offense, and there is just nothing giving at all. So, is that something Zachary is doing by formation? Is that something they're doing by down? Threatening a lot of pressure right here. Let's see what happens.
Guernsey's going to go back under center, sets the line, fakes the handoff, looking to throw the football. He's going to get out the tackle box. Now he's going to turn into a runner. He's going to cross the line of scrimmage. Now he's going to be across the 30. I think he might have – they got to say he stepped out at the 29. He's going to be short a yard for the Papa Bear first down. Initially, I thought he had what it took to get that first down, Coach.
Yeah, it was a good-looking run. If number 56, Gavin Joseph, was blocking on the perimeter, boy, if he could have gotten about a second more on that block, might have bought Guernsey a little room to either throw it or get an extra yard right there, because that is just indeed what they need. They are a short yard away from a big first down from the 29-yard line.
This will be huge to continue the drive as Guernsey's going to go under center. He's going to set the line. Hand the football off, and, Coach, I don't even think he got back to the line of scrimmage. They're going to say he got to the 30, and they're going to call it a first down. I'll take that Papa Bear first down, but, boy, I don't think he got even close.
Yeah, I'll be.
I'm shocked.
We try to be honest about what we say up here and say, when we think a call kind of goes against the Bears, we're the first one to admit it. But we're also the first to admit that when we don't think a play actually was what it was, like that was just as much
I'll take a free Papa Bear first down.
Yeah, that was just as much a first down as the fake punt was a first down for Zachary.
I thought he was
either one was. So
I thought he was short a whole yard.
Yeah, we'll call it even.
Guernsey back in the gun. He's going to reset the back to his right. Looking to throw the football down the field, climb the pocket. Guernsey's going to turn into a runner. He's going to try to slip out of a tackle. He'll go across the 35, where he'll get tackled down at the 36-yard line. Make that a gain of 6 on the play. It'll bring up 2nd and 4.
Best offense Carencro has at certain points of the game is Guernsey run left, Guernsey run right, Guernsey run up the middle right now, and then one would hope that the defense will begin to collapse from the outside in, giving Babineau or Davis or Bernard the opportunity for a long one.
Guernsey back in the gun again. Is going to reset the line. He's going to get the football to his back. He has a little push this time. He'll push it close to the 40-yard line. The football came out late, but I believe he was down at the 39. But it'll be short by a yard to bring up 3rd and 1.
Yeah.
I thought that one was pretty obviously down, though, right?
Yeah,
we'll be fair.
I thought it was undoubtedly down. The back judge gave no signal, though he was about 3-4 yards away from the ball. But thank goodness the line judge from the Zachary side came in immediately signaling that he was down. I thought that was a no-brainer right there.
Guernsey's going to be back in the gun. He's going to go quickly under center. 2 receivers to the near side, just 1 back behind him. He'll hand the football off to that back, who will back his way into a first down across the 40 to the 41-yard line. We'll call that a Papa Bear first down.
So on the last 2 run plays that have both been in critical situations, the Bears get 1 yard, well, a debatable 1 yard on the 4th down, and then they pick up 2 yards on this one. Could it be progress? In the words of LL Cool J, could it be a comeback?
I like the pace of the possession, Coach. 7:30 left to play in the Mark Garber third quarter. Guernsey's going to be by his lonesome in the backfield. 3 receivers to the far side, 1 receiver out wide to the near side. Looking to throw the football. Nope, he's going to turn into a runner. Design run. Now he's across midfield. He's going to go across a tackler and dive across the 45. They'll say he's finally tackled at the 44-yard line of the Broncos. That'll be another Papa Bear first down.
I really love the mobility by Guernsey right there. One of the big things that I think I like the most out of Guernsey as he's doing it is he reminds me of a little bit of Alvin Kamara. You ever seen Kamara take a full-out hit in a game? Very seldom, right? Like, he has a way of dodging hits.
And Guernsey seems so calm, so cool,
Yeah.
Coach. He doesn't even look pressured. He'll
Not-
be by
not
himself
shaken.
back in the backfield right now. He tripped receivers to the top of the screen. Guernsey now looking to throw the football. They bring Carter back pressure. He'll run away from it. He'll throw it, trying to find, I believe that's Brendan Cormier at the 40. It'll fall incomplete, and that'll be second down and 10 now. He did a great job right there spinning away from the pressure, getting rid of the football fast. They brought the pressure from the short side of the field on this near boundary on the cornerback.
Yeah, he got way too much pressure in his face early on. The intent to throw the ball was obvious. They made a switch at tight end. Number 11, Hayden Monroe, came in as a down tight end right there, ran an inside release route up the middle. But Guernsey had just too much pressure, so he scrambled to the Zachary sideline, put the ball where nobody else could get it. Safe, we live to play another day.
Guernsey now looking to throw the football deep. Steps up in the pocket, nobody to find. Now he'll throw it. He's looking for Kendrick Bernard along this near sideline, but it's too far along the boundary. It'll fall incomplete and bring up 3rd and 10 from the 44-yard line of the Broncos with 6:28 left to play in the Mark Garber third quarter.
Tough spot right there. And Zachary, wow, they are going to bring in a fresh defensive front. And these guys are just as big as the guys who are coming out, if not bigger. And, I mean, there are some massive humans on the field. And I was just thinking, I was about to say that this is undoubtedly the best defensive front that the Carencro offensive line has seen throughout the year, and they're just rotating guys in left and right.
Guernsey buys lonesome in the backfield. He's going to look to be a runner. It's a quarterback power run. Interesting play call. I guess it just crossed the line of scrimmage, maybe down to the 43-yard line. Let's say down maybe to the 42. It'll bring up 4th and 8 for Carencro, and I think they'll keep their offense out on the field.
Yeah, I don't think there's anything wrong with that call right there, but just totally, I mean, I hate to say it, but unblocked by the Carencro offensive line. A couple guys doing their job, a couple guys not doing their job, and that leads to trouble. But it also leads to the 6-minute mark, as there's now 5 minutes and 58 seconds left in the third quarter. And
You
what
know
does
that
that
means,
bring us,
huh,
brother?
Coach? That's a tire boss timeout. We'll step aside when we come back. We'll have the rest of the Mark Garber third quarter right here on your home for Carencro High football, Mustang 107.1. Welcome back to the press box of the Open Air Crow Dome, where your Golden Bears trail the Zachary Broncos 27-13 with 6 minutes left to play in the Mark Garber third quarter. I'm going to give you a quick score from across the way. Pick 6 for Acadiana. It's now 27-10 Rams into deep into the third quarter, it seems.
And you don't want to say must win, but you feel like it's a must
big one for
win.
the Cougars, man.
But
Big
it's
one
a
for the
big
Cougars.
one for the Rams or the Cougars.
4th and 8. Guernsey back in the shotgun. Gets pressure immediately. Evades the pressure. Now looking to throw it. He's going to chuck it across the field. It's going to be caught. What a completion. Guernsey to Seabab across the 25. And that's a Papa Bear first down.
I mean, when you are in doubt, if you are Carson Guernsey, just find number 7, and that's what he did right there. He scrambled. He had initial pressure. There was a safety blitz, came right in his face. He evaded it, literally broke a tackle to be able to get that pass off. He had receivers working.
Never kept his eyes down the field there, Coach.
Unreal. Great job by the sophomore.
Guernsey with Taylor in the backfield. He's going to hand the football off to Taylor. Taylor has some running room across the middle of the field. He's going to gain 3, maybe 4 on the play. We're going to call it 2nd and 6. I like that play. That's about as good as they've done on first down.
Yeah, it's about as good as they've done on first down, and it was with the run, and it was with Taylor. You know, he brings a different presence in the game.
More physical stature, sophomore, right?
But, yeah, definitely a more stout guy. You know, he's got, you know, all the guys' foot speed's about the same, but he brings a different energy with it.
Guernsey looking to throw the football. He's going to hit, I believe that's Duffy on the stop route, close to the line of gain. I believe he's just a yard shy. They're going to say he's down at the 17 in order to bring up 3rd and 1 for the Bears.
You know, if Carencro can string together a series of pass plays like that's the one, you know, you kind of hear the guys who do our job and actually, you know what they're doing. You know, they say it's just as good as a run, right? You know, you can that string of quick passes, just like running the ball essentially, and maybe it opens up the run game for later.
Guernsey under center. He's going to hand the football off straight up the gut this time. They'll push that pile across the 15. That's going to be a Papa Bear first down carry. I believe that was number 14 on the carry. Make that Carde Baptiste.
Yeah, you know, over the last couple of weeks, we said Carde Baptiste. We've said Christopher Bayham. We've said Taylor. You know, and we just haven't had the opportunities to do it. And that's no discredit to anybody, but that's all the credit to Zachary right there. They have just done an outstanding job. But how we're seeing it change is we're calling those names a little bit, and so we're not getting stuffed at the line. We're getting a gain of a couple yards each time. Can it grow?
Guernsey back in the gun with Taylor, looking to throw the football down the field. Now he's trying to rotate the pocket. He can throw it across the field, off the fingertips. He was trying to find his big receiver that time, coming across the middle, and he just couldn't work his way back for that football. Coach, I believe that was –
I think that was 86 Jordan Saunier, huh?
Saunier? Okay. It was just outside his reach. He had to reach back for it, but, boy, he was open right in between the hashes.
Yeah, really, I mean, in all honesty, it was a tough play to make, but that's the kind of play that you know you want to credit to your character.
2nd and 10 from the 14. Guernsey in the gun. Going to fake the handoff, look at turning a runner, and he slips. It'll be a loss of 1 on the play, back just past the 15. It'll bring up 3rd and 11. I don't mind that play call, though.
No, not at all. And, you know, I'm going to sound like an old man right here. That's where I miss grass fields. How many times do we see guys slip on plays like
lawn.
That? I miss the old school days. I appreciate the turf. I appreciate the beauty of the turf and everything that goes with it. But I just see too many guys slip, and I miss grass.
I mean, it's not saying we're telling our age, but some people are telling their age.
Call me
Guernsey,
Grandpa.
Back in the gun. Back to his right. He's going to look to throw the football. He's going to throw it. It's going to be caught by Babb. He's going to be just across the 10-yard line. I think he's going to be dragged down at the 8. It's going to be short of the first down. I think he's going to have about 3.5 yards to gain. They're going to make that a long 4. It'll bring 4th and 4 for Carencro. I think it's a no-doubter. You got to keep the offense on the field.
Yeah, there's absolutely no doubt at this point. And, I mean, you know, you've got lots of good targets out on the field right now. But, I mean, it's hard not to go to Babineau. He's a one-on-one matchup, and they're playing straight man. Doesn't look like they're going to provide any help over the top to aid with the coverage of Babineau. So, man, what does Gavin Peters dial up here?
Guernsey looking to throw it. He's looking that way. It's going to be a back shoulder throw in and out of the hands of Babineau. He had an opportunity to catch the ball in the end zone, and it's going to go just off the mitts of Babb and be passing complete. The Broncos are going to take the football over inside their own 10-yard line.
Yeah, I mean, it was exactly what you wanted. I mean, it was a pure –
That's a good throw.
it was a pure man-on-man situation right there. Babineau and the top cornerback for Zachary lined up. I mean, ball hit him in the hands.
That could be the best throw he's had all night. I mean, that back shoulder throw was right there.
And, I mean, Babineau just had too much pressure down at his ankles to be able to actually fully gather his hips underneath it to make the play. You know, you'd love to see him, and we've seen him make that play, but it didn't happen on this one.
Zachary, 1st and 10 with 2:05 left to play in the third. Toss to the right. He can break a couple tackles in the backfield. Now he's off to the races. Across the midfield. Now he's across the 40. He's looking back towards his near side across the 30. He's going to finally be drugged down deep into Carencro territory at the 12-yard line. That's going to be a first down. Huge play for the Broncos down to the Carencro 12.
Number 27 again, Jeremy Patton. These two running backs are, I mean, you know, there are so many words that get thrown out, combinations for 1-2 backs like you're seeing with Zachary right now. I mean, combinations of power and speed, because as Patton comes out of the game, number 28, Tyleik Lewis, his counterpart. Again, both of these guys juniors. And, I mean, Tyleik Lewis
similar
is
stature,
huge.
right?
Oh, I don't know.
They're big.
Lewis,
they're bruisers,
Lewis
right?
is huge.
Lewis is a guy that
he is Roger Craig Jr.
He'll drive the football like he will right here. Handoff up the middle to Lewis. Lewis will get out of a couple tackles, and he'll be finally drugged down into 6. He's a guy who wants to play through the contact. There's some extracurricular after the play. Couple flags thrown. I believe that's going to go against Carencro. Hayden Monroe was hand-checking, playing pity-pat with the offensive lineman.
Yeah, not the,
Zachary.
Not the time that you want to be physical after the play. You know, there are plenty more opportunities to be more physical during an actual play, and I think that's one of the things that the coaching staff knows with the young Monroe, who's, you know, he hasn't really been a defensive player. He's more of an offensive player, and
you'll kind of get a break right there. They'll call it offsetting back and forth, but
yeah,
like I'm telling you, getting a break. Monroe was most certainly the instigator in the situation.
Yeah, and you know what he was? He was the guy who we saw last.
Well, okay, that's fair.
Well, you know, I mean, because you know what's every coach say?
Yep.
It's the second guy who gets caught, right? And right there, Monroe was definitely the second guy. But obviously, to his defense, something started that one.
Back in the gun. Hand the football off in between the tackles. He goes straight through it and into the end zone. Not much resistance as they're able to push it forward. Lewis scores. That'll make it 33-13 with 1:04 left to play in the Mark Garber third quarter.
Yeah, you know, we'll look back at this and we'll talk about a lot of things. We can talk about missed tackles, and we can go all the way back to last week. We can talk about the difference in physicality and size, and we can talk about missed opportunities. Missed opportunities, I think, was probably the talk of last week's game against LCA, and we look at the opportunity to score with Babineau in the end zone right there, or any of a number of other ways, and it just comes down to the same thing. You got to convert.
The kick is up and good. Zachary is able to extend the lead. It's now 34-13 with 1:04 left to play in the Mark Garber third quarter. We'll step aside. We'll see if Carencro can muster a comeback when we come back right here on your home for Carencro High football, Carencro Bears Network, and Mustang 107.1.
Come to the press box, claim your prize.
Welcome back into the press box of the Open Air Crow Dome right here at Mike Byru's Field, where your Carencro Golden Bears trail 34-13. That kickoff is deep into the end zone, not giving Duffy an opportunity. It'll be 1st and 10 from Carencro from their own 20-yard line.
You know, last time we saw Carencro on offense, we saw them get the drive together. We saw them get it all the way down the field. Just the inability to convert. And I'll tell you the one thing that worries me about this one, that offense just got off the field.
They didn't get much of a break on Coach.
And then you left the field with disappointment, and now you've got to come back out here, and you got to be able to, as you say,
changed
muster.
too, though, right? You're down 21 now, so taking a long, elongated route to the end zone would be not as fortunate.
Yeah, Yeah, but I'm thinking the mental standpoint of the boys on the field. That ain't easy.
Guernsey, he's going to throw a screen pass to Taylor in the middle of the field. Taylor's going to get across that line of scrimmage and back through the 30. He's going to pick up a Papa Bear first down on the pitch and catch at the 31-yard line of the Bears.
The way that screen set up, it seemed like the longest 10 yards to get on the man right there. But nonetheless, the result is the same. It's a first down.
Hey, Papa Bear first downs anywhere you can slice them,
We'll
Coach.
take them anyway, whether it's a penalty, whether it's through the air or on the ground.
As long as we can talk about our buddy Papa, right?
Got to keep Keith Arsenal in the conversation.
Handoff is going to be, I believe that's Batiste. He's going to bring it across the 30 down to the 35.
Good
Not
run.
a bad carry. He's going to get 5 yards on the play at the 36-yard line. You're talking about Carencro Staples and just good people in general. That whole Arsenal family.
The entire one. And, the thing that makes me the proudest is we're talking about a Carencro High grad who all of his kids came through Carencro High. He was a one-time Carencro High quarterback, and it's hard to find anyone who's a bigger supporter of Carencro athletics than Keith Arsenal and Arsenal Machinery.
Guernsey looking to throw the football, one-on-one coverage, trying to find it deep. It's going to be caught across the 30-yard line. First down, pitch and catch. That was to Seabab as he catches it at the 27-yard line. Huge pitch and catch on the Papa Bear first down in the third quarter. We're going to step aside. When we come back, it's going to be time for fourth quarter action right here on your home for Carencro High football, Carencro Bears Network, and Mustang 107.1. Hi from the open air Crow Dome, where your Golden Bears trail Zachary 34-13. Guernsey back in the gun after the huge chunk play to Babineau. Looking to throw the football again. He's going to let it fly. It's going to be caught across the 20. Now it's going to get it back across the 10. That was Kendrick Bernard on the Papa Bear first down pitch and catch. They'll have first and goal from the 10 for the Golden Bears upcoming.
And, I think that's something that we've got to see more of, not just a quick passing game, but getting the ball in Bernard's hands. That's the first time he's touched the ball all night long. And while I understand getting the ball in Babineau's hands, you've got a equally good weapon in Bernard.
Just let
He's
the
got to
rhythm
touch
of
the
it.
ball.
Looking to throw the football again. It's going to be dumped out across the 5-yard line. He'll be met with some resistance as soon as he caught it. They'll say he was drug out of bounds at the 7. Gain of a few yards in play. It'll bring up second and goal from the 7. Odd. I thought he caught that football closer to the 5, Coach.
Yeah, it looked like it from here, but,
Hey,
among other
way
things.
up here, though, right?
Yeah, but I'd say they've got the vantage point, and what do we always say? What do we know?
I've been knowing you for a long time. I'm not sure you know much, Coach.
Yeah, I think
Guernsey
that's very agreeable.
Back in the gun.
Ask my wife.
Running back to his left. Looking to throw the football. They send in pressure. He's going to dump it deep. One-on-one coverage just out of the outstretched arms of a receiver. That'll bring up third and goal from the 7. I didn't catch a number on that, Coach.
I know. It's kind of
Was
hard
that-
to see
that's
who
Bernard?
that is.
I believe that was Bernard trying to go back to him.
Yeah, sure was. It's just hard from where we are with the glare.
I'm not a
right
big
now.
fan of the gray jerseys. I talked about it last night at Préjean's on the GP Are You With Me show. Well, I might be a little old school, but the gray jersey's just not my cup of tea.
Yeah, I'm kind of traditional, a traditionalist when it comes to football jerseys. I'm with you.
Guernsey back in the gun, running back to his left, looking to throw it again. This time he'll throw it across the middle, trying to find Babineau, but they'll throw a flag on the play. I think they're going to have pass interference. That'll be an automatic Papa Bear first down.
So as we mentioned just a minute ago, take them any way that you can get them, and then even better, move it a little bit closer to the goal line.
And then you get a new set of downs,
yeah,
man.
give us 4 chances to get in. I like it. Let's slow the clock down. Let's use a little bit of it. I mean, right now, Carencro has, correction, not an automatic first down, but it moves the Bears a little bit closer with 3rd and goal. Officials are going to stop it. Be a Carencro timeout right here, looks like.
We're going to stick right here on the Carencro timeout. I had time for a timeout.
Yeah, I mean, there are several things that come to mind right here. Like, one, I think everybody knows you got to score. So that's of utmost importance. And with 3rd and 4, I always have the hardest time saying that because, I mean, it seems like it's almost the same thing, right? You've got to get the score, but – man, do you want to save those timeouts for later?
Yeah, especially down by 21. I want to give a shout-out, though, to the Carencro High community coming out tonight. There's a nice crowd. You know, one of the better crowds we've seen over the last couple of years. We saw a few teachers from Old come in on faculty night. Miss Kate Andrews came up. And,
yeah, my good friend Katie Andrews. We taught next to one another for years.
Look, I had freshman English with her, sophomore English with you.
Probably learned more in 9th grade year.
You know, I mean, I'm not here to say that. I'm sure most of our listeners will say I still can't speak the English language.
This is true.
Okay.
The cool fact about Katie Beard, as she was when she was a student here, she was the original Brutus, the original mascot for Carencro High School. Quite a fun fact in Carencro lore right there.
Gursey back in the gun, resets the back. He's going to fake the handoff. Now Gursey's trying to run it. Play was all out of sorts, though, as it looked like didn't have quite any rhythm to it.
I have no idea what we just
and it'll
watched.
be 4th down. That's interesting, Coach. Pass interference happened in the end zone, but it's not an automatic first. So now it'll be 4th down inside the 5. That makes the timeout even more interesting.
Well, call me sour grapes,
Well,
but I don't know how you call a timeout, and that's what you come out with. Call me critical. Call me what you want. I call myself honest. I mean, if nothing else, I'm going to try to be honest. You can't come out of a timeout 3rd down in the 4th quarter and do that.
Gursey rotating the pocket. Now he's going to throw it. He's going to be caught. He's going to slip a tackle and go into the end zone. Cue the horns. That's a big boy Finson touchdown. Pitch and catch right there from Carson Gursey as Carencro claws a little closer. It's 34-19 with 9:59 to play in the 4th quarter. I think that was, Coach, help me out. Was that
Kendrick
Bernard?
Bernard, yep. That was number 13, Kendrick Bernard, KB as he's affectionately known. You know, we didn't see him get touches other than this last drive, and love to see the way that it ended for him. Love to see the way that it ended for the team. I mean, because many a man might have gone down early on that play, but KB found a way to get into the end zone, keeps his team's hopes alive with 9:59 left to go in the game.
That ball was caught around the 3-yard line. KB was able to slip the tackle around his ankles and go into the end zone. The Melancons Funeral Home PAT is good. Carencro strikes closer now. It's 34-20 with 9:59 left to play in the Carencro Automotive 4th quarter. When we come back, the defense desperately needs a stop right here on your home for Carencro High football, the Carencro Bears Network, and Mustang 107.1. Welcome back into the Open Air Crow Dome where your Golden Bears just struck a little closer against the Broncos. It's 34-20. Zachary with 9:59 left to play in the Carencro Automotive 4th quarter. I believe we got an official ruling on how it wasn't a first down from the eye in the sky, Coach?
Yeah, our good friend Dale Hargrave, big-time Louisiana high school official and college official, said that is not an automatic first down in high school. So, it's kind of hard. I find myself, I love college football so much. I watch the Saints play. I'm not a big NFL fan. But when you go back and forth in between rules, guys like us who are, as we make it known, we're not the smartest guys in the world, like Forrest Gump would say.
The onside kick's going to quickly be gobbled up by the Broncos just across midfield. I believe they got it to the 49 of Carencro, and they're going to regain possession as Carencro is trying to get the football.
I'm not sure about that one. Is
I don't
that
know if you tried that early.
is that a panic kick? Is that a just I don't know. Is that saying that
there's a flag on the far side?
They drove the last one 80 yards and on 2 plays. So wait, what do we have to lose? Not 100% sure of what that is, but it's not going to be a good result.
Speaking of college football, how about tomorrow, Coach? Our guy Bailey DeSpaney and the Tulane Green Wave get to play Ole Miss over in Oxford. That's a huge game.
Big game
for the Green Wave as they are fighting to be the Group of 5 representative in the college football playoffs. And, of course, Bailey DeSpaney, all-conference free safety, was a 2-time All-State player here at Carencro.
All-State in football, basketball, track, won a state championship in football, basketball, track. He already has his degree from Tulane. I mean, if there's not a guy that makes you proud or prouder than Bailey DeSpaney, I don't know many.
Zachary tries to run the football between the tackles right there, but Carencro resets that line of scrimmage behind the line and drops the ball carrier for a 1-yard loss right at midfield. It's going to be 2nd and 11, led by Will Laverne, Hayden Monroe and company, able to drop him for a loss.
I mean, one would think that Zachary might be content to come out here and really run the ball, but they're going to bring those twin 6'4" receivers.
Got to respect it.
Down to the bottom side of the field.
Looking to throw it down the field again. One-on-one coverage, and it's going to be just outside the arms across the 20-yard line. It's going to bring up 3rd and 11 at midfield. Interesting play calling right there, Coach. I mean, you got to take a shot sometimes or make them respect the pass, but you've been running the football right at the teeth of his defense. It's weird that they try to get away from it.
Yeah, so much of this Zachary offense reminds me of St. Thomas More. Like, you never know what you're going to see. There could be so many things, and when they're full cylinder and, they're just hitting on everything, it's almost impossible to stop. But when they start to get a little too pretty, maybe for their own good, and away from the kind of the old school way of calling the game, man, it almost kind of comes back to get them.
Kirby in the backfield brings his quarterback out. Brings his running back out to the right. He's going to try to throw the tunnel screen back towards the top of the screen. Fall incomplete. It's going to bring up 4th and 11 now for the Broncos with 9:10 left to play in the Carencro Automotive 4th quarter. And I think this is going to be the first time tonight we're going to see the Zachary Broncos punt the football.
Yeah. And
they had the fake.
They had the fake early on, and we won't talk about that anymore. Not that it had that big of an outcome on the game. Zachary was going to do what they're going to do. But, I mean, this gives Carencro a little bit of a chance right here.
Some decent punt. Duffy's going to step up right there. It's going to bounce around the 16 and die inside the 15. I think it's going to go dead at the 13, and that's where Carencro's going to take possession of the football. It'll be 1st and 10 Carencro Golden Bears from their own 13. Look, the last drive, Coach, mainly throwing the football in the air, and they really attacked the perimeters, especially along the boundary. Not necessarily across the middle. We'll have to see what Coach Gavin Peters and offensive coordinator Joey DeWire has dialed up, trailing by 2 scores with 8:59 left to play.
Down by that amount of points, you pretty much have 2 options. Kind of milk it and get out of here, or you're going to try to win the game. And if you're going to try to win the game, you're going to have to attack with the out routes, maybe the occasional draw after about 3-4 plays, but it's going to have to be quick routes to the outside. The pace is going to have to pick up, and you're going to have to try to move. You're getting deep coverage right here by all of Zachary. They're giving you 8 yards right now.
Guernsey looking to throw the football out of the gun. He's going to get quick pressure. He's going to throw it across the middle of the field. It's going to be caught by a receiver across the right near the line of gain. I believe that was number 84, Jalen Roberts.
First down, Carencro.
The big tight end. Not the fleetest of foot, but he was able to catch the football and pick up that first down.
Roberts sat in the middle of the zone right there, made a good catch, tried to turn it up, got turned back a little bit but held on to the ball.
Hey, Papa Bear first down, Coach. Guernsey this time he's going to hand the football off up the middle. It's going to be Baptiste who's going to get a couple yards on the play, make it 2 yards. It'll bring up 2nd and 8.
You know, and you got to run the ball every now and then. You got to mix it up a little bit right there. But, you know, you got to think that the Bears are going to be pass happy right here to utilize the full receiving staff, including Roberts, tight end.
Guernsey's going to whip it out
spot
to the boundary where he had nobody guarding Seabab 5 yards up the field. He'll pick up those free yards. I'll call that a run, Coach. It'll gain 5 on the play to bring up 3rd and 4.
Yeah, and I mean, if they're going to allow you, if their corners and safeties are going to play that far off the ball, they're going to press Babineau a little bit. They're going to give him about a 4-yard coverage zone, but they're going to play a good 8 yards and 12 yards off the slot to the wide side.
Guernsey,
you got to just keep
looking to
him.
throw the football. He's going to throw it to Bernard, who was running an out route near the line of gain. But great defensive play right there by the Broncos. Closing in quickly was Hogan, who came to break it up.
Yeah, it would have been interesting to see right there. You had number 80. That's Cameron Bernard. That's down at the bottom, KB's brother. And if he continues his route, he keeps his man on a much tighter line and gives KB a little bit of breathing room right there.
Carencro's going for it, 4th and 4 from their own 30-yard line. Guernsey back in the gun, looking to throw the football down the field. He's going to climb the pocket. Now he's going to look to run. He's going to throw the football. It's going to be Babineau catches it across the 40 at the 41-yard line, and that's going to be enough for a Papa Bear first down.
It's not rocket science at this moment. You know, there is a ton of time, and you are moving the ball consistently with either the out route or the quick slip up the middle, somebody sitting in the middle of the zone. I mean, keep taking what they give you right
so
now.
Calm. Guernsey is so calm. Guernsey back in the gun, fakes the handoff to Baptiste, looking to throw the football. He's got a man across the middle. He's going to catch it. Now he's going to bring it into Carencro territory across the 45. That's the tight end again. Jalen Roberts getting involved. Few catches tonight from the tight end spot.
Yeah, good to see that sort of production right there at the tight end spot. Haven't seen that in the first couple of weeks. That'll definitely open up other things for the Carencro run game, for the Carencro passing game. And, you know, they're going to take away the outside to a certain extent, and that's where you have to expose them in the middle. Robert's doing a good job of being able to do that.
Guernsey gets a lot of pressure. He's going to whip it out. Caught by Baptiste out in the flats. He's going to make a man miss at the 40. Now he's going to get across the 30-yard line and finally be drawn out of bounds across the 30 at the 28. That's another Papa Bear first down. Coach, I'm incredibly impressed by the poise of Carson Guernsey. The pressure in the face, the pressure from the backside. He steps up in the gun and delivers strike after strike.
Yeah, his ability just to know what his reads, to know what the checkdowns are, and then know what his counters are when he sees certain pressures.
Guernsey back in the gun, looking to throw the football. Now he's rotated the pocket out his right. He's going to throw the football down the field. He's just throwing it away right there. Babineau was well defended out towards the boundary.
Yeah, we'll definitely live with that right there, as will Guernsey, knowing that there was nothing necessarily there. Throw it away, keep the clock from running, live to fight another day.
Guernsey did a great job recognizing the situation when he rotated the pocket, and all he had to do was get rid of the football. Guernsey with Baptiste back in the backfield. He's going to reset him to his left. Looking to throw the football. They're going to send pressure out towards his left. Now he's going to run the football. Has a lot of running room. He's getting across the 20. Going to bring it close to the 15. Finally tackled at the 16-yard line. For the momentary, it looks like a Papa Bear first down, but there is a flag back at the 31.
Yeah, should be a holding call right there. Zachary had a pretty unique package on right there. They had two mountains of men essentially triggering kind of almost a little twist, kind of a slant look. Dead at the center right there, just to cause a ton of pressure to make the center of the line collapse. Worked pretty well. Holding call came up. Will negate what would have been a great play.
It'll bring up 2nd and long from the Carencro 39, we'll call it. Guernsey back in the backfield with Baptiste. They got to get themselves back in a better situation. Flip it out to the tight end, Roberts. Roberts trying to get across the 35. Couldn't quite shake the tackler. He'll be tackled at the 36 inbounds, and the clock will keep moving.
Yeah, and unfortunately, that was a good play, but for that play to work, 13, Kendrick Bernard, has got to deliver a better block for that play to work. He did not hold the block, so the first man to the ball was able to get there, broke everything down immediately. Those quick, those kind of screen action plays like that really depend on one guy doing a great job out on the edge and the perimeter. And that was KB right there, and he didn't get it done.
Gursey back in the gun with Batiste. Looking to throw the football down the field. A lot of pressure in the face. He's going to throw the football out towards the boundary, trying to find Babineau, but it's going to be pass incomplete across the 20-yard line and bring up 4th down and long for Carencro.
The penalty proving to be a decimator right there. I mean, just everything was going Carencro's way, moving the ball up and down the field, and then just they have not been able to just get their feet back under them again.
So there's 6 minutes left, and we're still in September. We're going to take ourselves a tire boss time out. When we come back, it'll be the last 6 minutes of the Carencro Automotive fourth quarter, where Carencro is looking for the comeback against Zachary, right here on your home for Carencro High Football, the Carencro Bears Network, and Mustang 107.1. Welcome back into the open air Crow Dome, where your Carencro Golden Bears trail 34-20 with 6 minutes left to play in the Carencro Automotive fourth quarter. Carson Gursey staying on the field. It'll be 4th and long for Carencro. They got to get the football to the 18-yard line. He's back all the way at the 36. Looking to throw the football. He's going to let it ride. He's throwing it deep down the field, but nobody's home. It'll be a turnover on downs for Carencro, and Zachary's going to take over the football.
Yeah, and I'm not 100% sure what went on right there. Bernard went into essentially double coverage and appeared to stop running right there. And I got to go back to another play before. I identified number 80 as being the younger Bernard, Cameron Bernard, but number 80 is Kaiden Davis. Able to see that as it came off the field, but not really sure. Just a breakdown of plays, and, man, that is not the place that you need a breakdown in your scheme.
Zachary is going to take over the football and run it across the tackles, and not much resistance. They'll pick up 13 yards and a first down for the Broncos. I don't mind the play call. I just think that they kind of got caught up. I think you were trying to run an inside post and an outside post, and he was trying to find that guy on the outside post, and I just don't think the route ever got there.
Yeah, it
never developed.
To be brutally honest, it was a ugly look right there. So many things in this offense are just unbelievable. It's a spectacle to watch, but every now and then there's a breakdown, just like in anything. You're not going to watch an NFL game and see a perfect game. You're not going to watch an NBA game and see a perfect game. And every now and then you're going to have those breakdowns. You just hope it's not at crucial junctures in the game.
1st and goal for the Broncos from their own 47. They're going to hand the football off up straight the middle. And it's going to go right across into Carencro territory at the 48-yard line of the Bears. Look, the Zachary team, though, I'm really impressed by the way they're able to kind of run multiples. They're able to push the front. The backs, they're able to interchange. But look how big these guys are, Coach. They're not only the receivers, but up front. I mean, those guys are big bodies.
They are 100%. This is physically, this is the most impressive football team that I have definitely seen in I'll call it 2 years. I won't overstretch myself, but I'll say in 2 years, this is the most physically impressive team that I've seen.
Hand the football off across the left-hand side of the line of scrimmage. They'll push it across the 45 to the 42, 43-yard line is going to be another first down for the Broncos, as it seems like they're in cruise control with 4:10 left to play in the Carencro Automotive fourth quarter.
Yeah, you're at that point. I'll be surprised, honestly, if we see Zachary come out and throw the ball anymore.
Yeah, I mean, not at this juncture of the game.
I mean, they're not – David Brewerton's not the type of guy to just put points on the board necessarily. I mean, I think they've clearly established that they can do that if they want to, but I think they respect the fact that this is still a well-coached Carencro team with talented players on both sides, and they're going to be content to run the ball and hopefully break one along the way. You know, if you're Zachary, that's your way of thinking. But if you can just get out of the game and finish at 34-20, be great.
Run the football across the left side right there. Gain great yardage. Make it 6 yards on first down to bring up 2nd and 4. Carencro's going to burn the timeout. And look, Coach, I don't like to look ahead too much, but next week is a huge game back here in the open-air Crow Dome, where you're going to go now to 1-2. You've been you battle-tested. You've beat a STM team who's might fought 0-3 tonight. Don't look at that, though. That's still a good STM.
Yeah.
That STM team is going to probably go 7-3 or maybe 6-4. You lost to an LCA team who might go 10-0. They're that good.
They could run the gamut.
This Zachary team could go 8-2 or 9-1.
Yeah,
maybe even 10-0.
They too will play in a tough district. But
Central.
I don't see very many teams really giving this Zachary team a hard time. They are.
If I'm Coach Gavin Peters and company, I'm trying to keep the guys' spirits up. I'm trying to keep everybody really elevated this week, because this Barb team that you're going to play next week beat you last year.
Yeah.
In a game that you thought you would be able to go in and be able to compete a little better than you did. And it's a Barb team that scored points in bunches.
Yep.
They scored 60 points a couple of weeks back. Zachary, out of the gun, hand the football off across the left side. Carencro is going to hold them to just at the 35, and they'll drop them to bring up 3rd and 2.
Yeah,
Carencro's going to call timeout.
Traditionally, Barb has always been able to put points on the board, and this year they are proving that it is absolutely no different. I mean, they can flat out score the ball. Big question for them is, how much can they stop you? You know, they had a 20-some-odd point lead against Lake Charles College Prep a week ago at halftime and ended up getting beat in
was that the 65-60 game?
Barn burner.
That's what it was?
It might have been more than that, huh?
70-65 or something
yeah,
to that.
It was up there. Speaking of scores, man, our good friends Justin Tyler Pierce and Benjamin Gonzalez fall tonight. St. Martinville 35, Brobridge 0.
Do they call it the Civil War? Is that what they call that one?
I don't know if that one. I know Brobridge Cecilia. I think that one might be the ultimate Civil War right there. But trying to reach out and find some more scores. Last we heard, Turlings had gone up on Notre Dame, but now in the fourth quarter, it's Notre Dame 20, Turlings 17. But we're really looking to also see some big 3-5A scores. Right now it's Acadiana 35, St. Thomas More 25, and New Iberian Como still tied 28-28.
3:28 left to play in the fourth quarter at the open-air Crow Dome. Zachary has the football. They're going to run it across the middle of the formation, get a couple yards, but they're going to pick up a first down as the clock continues to tick. Of course, we want to thank all of our sponsors tonight for powering our broadcast and bringing to you each and every week. Of course, we still have ad space available and many sponsorship opportunities. If you want to get in on the action, reach out to us at Carencro Bears Network, and we'll make sure to spotlight you in your local business. Coach, this is a ball game now that we're under 3 minutes. Look, Carencro did compete. They competed all 3 weeks this year. Last year was a little different, even though the games were closer. This team just has a little bit of a different feel to it.
Yeah, there's definitely a sense of maturity about this team that was not there last year. I think that's one of the big things that stands out.
Run across the right-hand side of the line of scrimmage. They're going to gain 7 on the play to bring up 2nd and 3. I think this is a team, though, that is a little bit different. They're a little bit more diverse on offense. They have an identity on offense.
They have an identity.
Something they struggled with last year.
That's got to be the biggest one, I think.
On defense, though, still a little light. They're going to have to figure it out. They bring a lot of athletes running around the field. When teams really want to punish you and run the football between the tackles, is still something that they not welcome at this point in the season. They'll get an opportunity to get their feet under them in the district play. I think district play, they'll welcome it compared to the gauntlet that they faced to start the season.
Yeah, I think you're right. From the defensive side, it's just the physical aspect of it. There's just not the size
Broncos.
up front defensively. I think those guys are playing with some of the best technique that Carencro defensive players have played with in quite a while. I think the defensive schemes and packages are as good as they've been in quite a while. But at the end of the day, you know, there's a saying in basketball and even in football too a little bit, you know, it's not as much about X's and O's, but it's more about Jimmy's and Joe's.
You got to have the Pete's and the Joes, Coach.
Yeah.
You got to have them guys. Jimmy's, Joe's, Pete's and Joe's. You need to have them all.
When you're a little light up front and you go against an offensive line like this that's averaging 6'3", 280 across the front,
Yeah.
I mean, that's asking a lot
Zachary.
out of anybody.
Zachary's going to call a timeout with 1:13 left to play in the Carencro Automotive fourth quarter. We're going to stick right here. It'll be 3rd and 2 when they come back. And Coach, look, next week is a game that I feel like the team's going to take a little personal. When you went on the road last year and lost to Barb,
One would hope.
that's a team that you thought you were going to be able to beat last year. I think they're going to take that game a little different, a little personal into next week. Look, this is not something you could really hang your head on. This is a quality opponent that you're facing. Definitely not up to the standard. Let's be clear on that. But I think this is something that you can learn from, mature on, and really sink your teeth into the district play that'll start next week.
Yeah, you know, you said it. You know, Gavin Peters got to keep all the coaches have to keep the attitudes up, and there's got to be a sense of reality that, you know, you have played some really good teams, but you had your chances to beat them, so you got to get better. But I mean,
and you're home again next week, right?
yeah, you're home again, but you know, you look at the slate, and then you kind of look at who other people in the district have played, and you know, there's got to be something in you that makes you feel a little good inside and say, you know, hey, if we continue to grow, if we continue to get better, if we continue to get coached, if we continue to keep lifting hard, if we get better at tackling, if we get better in the run game, the pass game, that we're going to be okay in district, because there's 7 games to play in district. And let's be honest, not everybody has played the same schedule. Acadiana has played the comparable
I
schedule.
think you're probably going to be favored if you would do such a thing.
If one was to do such a thing.
Probably in majority of the ball games.
Yeah. I mean,
Zachary was able to pick up a first down. I think they'll get in one of my favorite formations in all of football, the victory formation. Just unfortunately, it's not for the Bears.
You know,
Zachary's going to take a knee, and the clock will tick under 30, and that'll be all she wrote. Carencro tonight, battle-tested, but unfortunately, the Broncos were too much. Carencro falls 34-20 against the Zachary Broncos right here from the open-air Crow Dome. When we come back, you'll get in on the action, and we'll break it all down for you in the Coca-Cola postgame show right here on your home for Carencro High football, the Carencro Bears Network, and Mustang 107.1. Coca-Cola Carencro postgame show. I'm Blaine Viatar, joined alongside Coach Christopher Kovac. Your Golden Bears fall tonight, 34-20 against the Zachary High Broncos, and we're here to tell you all about it, Coach. It's a game that never really felt that Carencro had really an opportunity to push the limits. They were able to force a big turnover early in the ball game and take a quick 6-0 lead, but after that, Zachary outclassed Carencro, especially up front, pushing the line of scrimmage and running the football in between the tackles.
Yeah, I think at the end of the night, this was truly a game where Carencro got beat. You know, in coach speak, you know, you talk about getting beat and you talk about losing games. Did Carencro have, as Gavin Peters himself loves to call them, a GLP, a game-losing play? Yes, they had game-losing plays. But overall, at the end of the night, you hit the big word. They were outclassed. And you know, surely not in the sense of anybody who doesn't know what that word means or that connotation of it means. Class had nothing to do with it, but back to what we said earlier, Jimmy's and Joe's.
Yeah, and look, they were able to run the football in between the tackles and really dominate not only the line of scrimmage, but the play clock. They were able to kind of control the pace of the ball game, but made Carencro play at their own pace. And when Carencro got the football, they were always behind, down in distance, and the clock trailing in the ball game, where they had to force and throw the football. For me tonight, when I'll give my Louisiana Cup player of the game, it's difficult when you had a game that you totally outshined 34-20. And forgive us, we don't have the stats tonight, but in my opinion, I'm going to give it to Carson Gursey. He was calm, cool, and composed all night long. If you ask him, he probably didn't have his best game. He gave you a running element from the quarterback position. He was able to find receivers when he had pressure constantly in his face, and he played a smart football, heady football for the Carencro Bears. They're going to need that version of Carson Gursey when they go into district play.
Yeah, he didn't turn it over. He was able to really control his offense for the most part. And, I mean, let's be honest, he had pressure in his face all night long. I mean, they had big guys up front, and they brought different packages all night to really keep that offensive line off balance. They did a great job of it. And Gursey wasn't at his best. I don't think anybody was at their best for this Carencro team, but he did a great job of managing composure and his ability to still run the offense when things went a little bit haywire. And like you said, that's the guy that's going to be needed as this team goes into district, because now comes the 7-game district slate.
The gauntlet, this is where it starts.
Yeah.
Look, you're 1-2 after playing the slate you did. All your goals are still in front of you. You still have an opportunity to win the district. You still have an opportunity, because of the slate you played, to play yourself in a high power point position to get yourself home game in the first round of the playoffs. All that still lies ahead of you. What you have to do now is turn your attention to that district play, come in, refocus, and talk about dominating your next opponent. Next week will be Barb. It's a team that beat you a year ago when you felt that you were going to have the better team in the first year of the Gavin Peters era, and they just They outshined you in every aspect of the ball game.
Yeah,
they beat you in offense, special teams, and defense last year.
They wanted it a little bit more last year, I would say, wouldn't you?
Yeah, I totally agree. I think that was a team that came in more hungry, more focused, and more determined. So, look, this is a Carencro team that's going to have to quickly flush this, turn their attention to district play. We're going to do the same thing. Next time you can see us on the Carencro Bears Network will be next Thursday night at Préjean's for the GP Are You With Me show. Of course, next Friday we'll be right here back in the open air Crow Dome. We'll have kickoff at 7, pregame at 6:45. We want to thank all our guys for helping us tonight, not only the students who led this production on Carencro Bears Network, our guy Benji Desatel, our guy Seth Dickerson, also our straws who stir the drink back at the Mustang 107.1 studio. And, of course, we want to thank you for tuning in with us each and every Friday night. Stay in with us. A lot of season left to play right here on your home for Carencro High football, the Carencro Bears Network, and Mustang 107.1.